Elv Show, part of the Elv Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Hey, and good evening and welcome to the Fanatical Elves Show. It's a Thursday night and we're in house here on Fans First Network. I'm John Suchan. Over there is Sam, the man Britton, all the way down there in Dallas, Texas. Sam is the architect of all of the music you just listened to. He tweaked it so it would fade out. Thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate the effort. I'm sure that didn't surprise you so much. It didn't shock you when I turned the music off. It just kind of faded into the night. How are you tonight?
Good. Fun fact, if you're a guest, you can't hear the music, by the way. So I wasn't able to hear the music.
Really?
So I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't hear it. There was no sound.
Wow. I have it on
Hopefully you
live.
set
So
it to
hopefully
live
I
when you
did.
clicked the thing. Yeah, I couldn't hear it. So hopefully I'm appearing as like someone on the show right now, but
You are. Let me just double check that you're in. Yes, you are
yeah, but
recording.
yeah, I'm fine. It's hot outside. It's like 105 degrees, but it's getting to a point where it's going to start cooling down, so I'm excited for the cooler weather.
Very good. Here, let's see if you can hear this drum roll. Maybe not. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that one.
Maybe because you made the music so soft this last time. Maybe that's why. Who knows?
No, probably not.
Well, so it's hotter than hell out there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like 103 degrees. It's not that bad. It was a mild summer. Like honestly, it wasn't that bad.
No, it really was. Yeah, you were reporting pretty.
Last year, maybe 2 years ago, it was hitting heat indexes of like 114. So I won't complain.
Well, it is still early September. I know back here in Ohio, it's going to cool off for the next few days, but then it's going to get hot again into the mid 80s, which we don't like that here in Ohio. We're ready for fall. Thanks again. If you're watching us live on Facebook, Apple, or not Apple, the X, YouTube, you can listen to us later on Apple and on Spotify. We really appreciate all the downloads, all the shout outs. We are Browns fans just like you, and we got a big game coming up on Sunday against those Cincinnati Bengals. I've been calling them Bungles. And there's a lot of chatter. What's going on with that? Now, I was looking, Sam, at the projections on some of these Vegas odds, and put a little money down there. I have the Browns on the money line winning the game, so the money line was favoring Cincinnati. The plus on that is 195 today. It had been like plus 200, plus 300 a week or two ago, so it's definitely gone down a little bit. Put a few bucks on that. I actually did, Sam. Get this. Ready for this? I put some money down too on the Dallas game tonight. I'm taking the Cowboys to win, and then later in the week on Sunday, I'm taking the New Orleans Saints to win a home game against the Arizona Cardinals. If I win all three, Sam, I'm a millionaire. I'm quitting my day job. I'm quitting. Not quite, but
okay.
I'm kidding on the millionaire part, but it is quite a good sum of money if I hit on all three. And I
was hoping you were actually going to be a millionaire because I would have been like, can you send me like $3,000, please?
Well, we'll work towards that. I wasn't brave enough to put so I think it was $20, Sam. And I guess, you think about it, if I put down, if I had put down, well, anyway, we'll just hope for a winner. Browns are going to win. They're going to beat the Bungles. Myles Garrett today, Sam, I don't know if you saw this, but he did not participate in practice. Little hip injury thing. There's some, nervous chatter going on. Okay, what's going on with Myles? But I would suspect that he'll be okay for the game on Sunday. Maybe it was just a precaution today. Have you heard anything more?
No, I haven't heard anything more about that. I definitely hope he's good though, because that's an important piece of our defense.
Wouldn't you think? Yes, probably the most important piece. I'd say not seeing him at all during this preseason, kind of getting ready for the season. You'd hope that he wouldn't get an injury. Obviously, they're practicing, and that's you got to do that. But we try to protect these players so much in this day and age. But we'll see. Um, okay, I had a guest on last night on my Johnny Cleveland podcast, Troy Curran, who I work with at my other job, and we had a lot of fun talking about the Bungles. And he particularly appreciated your comment last week that when you described the Cincinnati Bungles defense as a
As
bunch
five
of
preschoolers, yeah.
five preschoolers, he found that quite humorous. Ha ha. And so we had some good chatter during the week, and we talked a little bit about it last night on the show. So, do you
Yeah, I was
still
giving
feel
them too much credit. I apologize. I think probably five preschoolers is probably too generous.
so you're holding to it? You think that the Browns could really potentially do some great things on Sunday against the Bengals
I
defense?
mean, yeah, you could probably put an empty carton of eggs on the field and they'll stop more players than the Bengals defense will. So, yeah, I mean,
An empty carton
I,
of eggs.
I'm somewhat joking. The Bengals aren't that bad, but they don't have a great defense. So, yeah, I think it could be interesting. The problem is they have an absurdly good offense, at least on paper, right? Who
Yeah,
knows what's going to happen? Not really, but on paper they've got an amazing offense. So it's going to be a balance between how many you have to outscore the Bengals offense because their defense probably isn't going to be stopping you as much. So it's important to score as well because if you stop scoring, you're just screwed because their offense is so on paper it's so quick and
yeah.
so strong. It's going to be really hard to keep up with them, assuming you can't score on their defense.
We had such a hard time last year, Sam. We averaged 15 points as an offense. That has to change.
Then again, wasn't Deshaun Watson throwing last year? So
Good point.
I'm pretty sure that empty carton of eggs I mentioned probably could throw more passing yards than Deshaun Watson probably could have.
Now, Joe Flacco is coming back to Cleveland. The last time he played in Cleveland, he had 5 straight games of throwing for over 300 yards. He went 4-1 in that stretch, won the last 4 in that stretch. Only quarterback in Browns history to do this, to throw for 300 yards in a row. What do you think about Joe? Are you feeling good about Joe being the quarterback coming into this game? I feel good about it. What about you?
I mean, yeah, but it's like we saw how he performed last year, right? Like
Yeah,
he wasn't doing anything crazy, so it mostly depends. Again, I don't. We have to watch a game first. I can't make a good assessment until the game is starting. But going off of what he did 2 years ago, he was great, right? He brought us
yeah,
to the playoffs. He was
sure.
amazing, and then we go after what happened last year, and he was terrible. So
Hmm.
it's very hard to determine until we finally get out onto the field and see it happen for real.
Okay. Well, one of the guys that he used to throw to, and I just wanted to bring him up again, Amari Cooper, who played for the Browns for a few seasons, had 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Announced earlier today that he was planning on retiring. It's too bad, we can't relight the magic between Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper. But we have David Njoku. But when I was talking to my colleague and Troy, a big Cincinnati fan, he was, we were talking about the Browns' offense. And as a Bengals fan, as a Cincinnati fan, he was not, he was not very nervous or worried or scared of the Browns' offense. What do we need to see on Sunday? What do you think? I mean, what do we need to see? Obviously, we need to score points, but what are you thinking it's going to look like, or what are you hoping it looks like? And I know we haven't seen a game yet, but what are you maybe
I mean,
projecting?
looking at it, I'm not expecting a whole lot. I'm gonna be honest. It's we don't have our running back that we've had for a while. We're missing. Who knows what the quarterback situation is going to be like? Wide receivers feels kind of up in the air. It's very iffy, but I think this offense could be decent, right? I think it could be half decent, assuming we continue to play well. But it's just such a hard thing to gauge right now because I think it could be great. I think it could be terrible too. It's just going to be really tough to figure out right now.
Well, there you go, folks. There you go. It could be great. It could be horrible. So it really is, right, Sam? I mean, that's what I think a lot of Browns fans feel. And I feel the same way. I'm hoping for the best, thinking that this team, maybe has matured and we're going back to Stefanski's offense. But until we see it on the field of play and then proving it by scoring touchdowns more than they did last year and not just, you know, not scoring at all or just kicking a field goal here and there, it is very up in the air. So I can see why like Bengals fans aren't totally like scared out of their boots that when they think about the Browns offense. I mean, my colleague even said that his prediction was that the Bengals are going to win going away 41-6. He doesn't even give the Browns a touchdown, or he's just a touchdown, but they'll miss the extra point or something. So, or two field goals.
6 feels too low for sure against the Bengals defense. 6 feels too low, but I think
Yeah.
against other teams, who knows, right? Like,
Yeah.
if we're going against some of these better teams, it might be somewhere between 7 to
Well,
17 points. So
I was looking ahead at you were talking about better teams. I mean, the Ravens. We go to play the Ravens the second week of the season, and the projections on the money line there for the Cleveland, if Cleveland wins, it's like plus 450. So basically saying that Cleveland has no chance in hell to beat the Ravens. But
yeah, and that sounds about right. If I'm gonna I have to be totally honest, that doesn't sound that crazy, to be honest.
mhm.
But it's just like we need to see this team in action first before we can. Because if we do terrible, then yeah, I'll be like, yeah, that totally makes sense. But if we do good and we get like 31 points or something, and we might be like, all right, maybe there's something here that we're not seeing that
Mhm.
is actually quite good with this team. And so it's going to be a long few weeks if we do poorly, though.
Yeah, we can't get off to a rough start, and it is like our colleague Steve Gill. By the way, Steve Gill is traveling in an undisclosed location this Thursday night, so he could not join us like he typically does on Thursday nights. But we will try to keep it down for our colleague. I know we've missed Sam a few times over the last several weeks, and I know Sam was worried that his spotlight would be taken by the
Yeah, no,
team.
I wasn't
But
worried. I don't know if there's anyone who could do that. And
anyway,
another me. If you guys found out how to clone me, then yeah, sure, he can take my
no,
spotlight.
right?
But
Yeah, no way, no way, no how. When's your birthday again, Sam? Aren't you turning 18 here coming up?
yeah, I got 6 weeks. I think my mother said about 6
6
weeks.
weeks, and you're turning 18.
Yeah,
So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk because we're gonna add Sam has contributed to our Fanatical Elves network for quite a while.
yeah, I'll
So
officially be paid for my
I think
stuff.
so. Now, well, I'll verify that with the folks at Fans First, but we'll get back to you,
Yeah,
Sam, on
I
that.
think even here in Texas, 18, almost all work laws drop off.
Yes, I believe so. All right, Sam. Let's pause for a quick commercial break. This is the Fanatical Elves show on a Thursday night. We'll be right back. And we are back here. It's a Thursday night. It's the Fanatical Elves show. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our sponsor, Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the farmer, and amazing coffee out of Mechanicsburg, Ohio, just to the northwest here of Columbus. Have been buying their coffee for years. Please go buy their coffee. You would be supporting our podcasting platform here on the Fanatical Elves Network. By the way, also, Sam, we're going to be giving away more stuff, more
Oh,
free
no way,
stuff.
really?
Yeah. So
Ooh.
if you are paying attention to our social media platforms on the X, Facebook, and whatnot, if you are a follower of our shows and you get out there and you repost what I'm going to put out there later on this evening for some free stuff, we gave away a free T-shirt last week. We're going to then announce the winner of the free stuff that we're going to be posting later on our X page. We're going to announce that winner on our post game show after the Browns beat the Cincinnati Bengals Sunday evening. So now I will be up in Cleveland, Sam. I don't know where you will be, but we don't.
Probably in my house
We will
watching the
be.
game from my laptop on an illegal streaming site. That's a joke, by the way. I totally watch my NFL games legitimately, guys.
So we are gonna have we will have a post game show. Now, when that comes on, we will let everybody know closer to the time on Sunday. But we're excited to be watching these games with you and bringing you all the latest commentary that we get. Sam, I think also there's going to be a few games I'm hoping to get up there. I've got some credentials through Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders and might actually be there watching the game in person with them as a contributor and looking forward to that. So we'll let
Yeah,
everybody
that'll be
know,
cool.
right? Yeah,
I
super
would be
excited.
watching my Browns games through Red Zone, but now they decide to add ads to it.
Right? What
They're
do you
like,
think
"Oh
about
yeah,
that?
guys, let's take this hugely popular sports thing that has no ads and let's add ads to it." I can't
Oh,
wait for the I can't wait for the viewership to drop by like 80% and then like, "Oh, maybe we should have left ads out."
it's crazy, isn't it, Sam? I mean, you've lived this life where you've been inundated with social media since you were a little kid, so you don't know anything different. But now, hey, when you're our students, I know you go to school within your house home. Our where I work, they've taken away the cell phones. Do you happen to use a
Yeah,
cell
they
phone
do
quite
that
a
here in
bit?
Texas now.
Yeah. Do
Almost,
you?
I think Texas. There's these little like pouches you have to put your phone in. There's like little scanners
Yeah.
that unlock your phone. No one
Wow.
likes it. They just think it's a big security hazard
Yeah.
because no one can get a hold of their family or anything if anything happens to in the school.
Sure. Sure.
Um, but there's a lot of people who don't like it. I haven't really heard anyone who's like, "Yeah, this is a good idea." It's mostly a lot of the argument is the people who want to learn will learn. You can't take away everyone's phone just because some people don't pay attention. I
Sure.
think I'm not public schooled, but I think there has to be better solutions than just outright locking the phones to a point where you
Well,
can't access it
do they?
completely.
Is that a state law now there in
Yeah, I think it's
Texas?
statewide. I think
Because
it's
I know in
statewide.
Ohio it's supposed to be taking shape as law after the first of the year in January. So
Yeah,
our students right now.
I think it will be statewide if it isn't already. And I mean, I think it makes sense why parents don't like it, right? I wouldn't want to send my
Sure.
kid off to school with no way of contacting them.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's yeah, but yes, they are banning phones basically.
Now I will say, Sam, because since I'm old, I'm much older than you. We did learn, we did make it, we did manage to get to this point when I was your age. We did not have cell phones, and we would to get a hold of your family. Usually, we had the phones at school that people could call. so,
Yeah, it's still
so
gonna work, but I
yeah.
definitely see why people don't like it.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny though, Sam, because over the years I was a school counselor, and so you talk to the kids, especially when they were younger, and every year you'd ask kids, do you have a cell phone? And the first time I would ask that question, no, hardly any kid had a cell phone, and then obviously that increased every year. It was just and everybody had one. So now we're reversing course in many states. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, Sam. Okay, so we're talking the game here. Defense. Let's look at the defense for the Browns. And we've already established that the Cincinnati defense sucks. Um, but the Cincinnati offense is kind of what they hold their hat on, kind of like your hat that you're wearing on top of your head, that awesome cowboy hat. So Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all these guys, they can bring it. But our Browns defense, with Miles Garrett, the two new rookies, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, could be something special. At least that's the hope. Are you feeling strongly that way? And who are you giving the advantage to? I mean, I know we haven't seen a game yet, but going into this game, who are you leaning
On
toward?
on paper, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be the Bengals, who I think have a good advantage over the Browns defense.
Hmm.
I like you said, we haven't seen the game, so we can't accurately predict anything right now. But yes, I think it's going to be a hard game for the Browns. Do I think it's impossible to stop them? No, I think you can stop them. Do I think it's going to be very difficult? Yes, I think they've got a good offensive line, good rushing game, their passing attack. If Joe Burrow can figure his stuff out, obviously the passing attack is going to be very deadly with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow. That's a disgusting combo. If they
Yeah.
can work, if they don't get hurt, I think they'll be very good. I mean, Joe Burrow probably could have been MVP if his team was actually winning last year. So,
Hmm.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a very hard game, but I don't know. I think the Bengals do have the advantage on offense. I think it's going to be who can score more than the other person, because I think the Bengals are going to be very good on offense. I think the Browns are going to be good on offense. And so it's going to be whose defense can play the least worst, I think is going to be the competition in this game.
Are you expecting then a high scoring game?
I would expect it, but honestly, it's so random sometimes. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, these guys are gonna score like 80 points combined, and they score like
Yes.
12. And so
Yes.
I think a reasonable score would be something like 17-24, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Something with like kind of high score, nothing crazy. Maybe you'd say 17-31 in favor of the Bengals, but
Yeah.
somewhere around 40 to 50-ish total points would be where I would set the game at.
And I'll be down there. I think it's going to be vital, and not having seen this team play, but just knowing the Browns and their patterns over the years. In my opinion, the team getting off to a good start, and that might really mean, I mean, taking the lead. That Cleveland needs to take the lead first, like they need to jump on Cincinnati somehow, get 3 points. I do not want to see Stefanski going fourth down and four early on in the game in their in field goal range, take the damn 3 points. That's I think it's important that Cleveland can jump on top of Cincinnati first, because if we're playing backup or catch up all game and Cincinnati scores an early touchdown, then it's going to be a fight all the way uphill, and I just don't see Cleveland doing that. And like Sam, I think that like your projections of like a 31-17 game are legit, especially if Cincinnati jumps on top of them early. I'll be anxious to see how that all pans out. I think having Joe Flacco will is a real positive going into this game, because Joe knows the offense. He knows Stefanski. He knows, I mean, he's comfortable. He's played in the AFC North all these years. So I could see Cleveland getting on that in that lead early. And
Yeah,
then
yeah. I mean, like if they get the ball for the first drive and score, I
yeah.
think that's a good morale booster for sure.
Hmm.
But it's gonna. I think you have to be careful about what happens in the first and second quarter, because I don't want the team getting down. I don't want their morale going out quickly.
Hmm.
Like if
Hmm.
the Bengals go up 14-0 in the
Hmm.
first quarter,
Yeah.
that's going to be hard, because that they're going to be scoring consistently every drive
Hmm.
or close to every drive, whether that be 7 or 3. So you're gonna have to be playing catch up really hard to
Hmm.
be able to equal what they're doing, and then a little bit more to get back. So you got to be very careful about what happens in that first quarter, because if they get 14-0, 14-3, that's going to be a tough deficit to come back from over the
Hmm.
course of the game with that kind of offense at the thing you're having to fight.
Yeah. I agree, totally agree. The game is not a sellout, from what I understand, and the people are showing that there's thousands of seats still available. I'm a season ticket holder. I'll be down there, but I'm anxious to see what that crowd looks like, and I'm anxious to kind of sense what the energy will be like, because I've been down there over the years, and going into this, I'm excited about football like most fans
Oh
are,
yeah, for
but
sure.
yeah, but it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be a better energy, just for the simple fact that we know that Deshaun Watson isn't taking the field to
Yeah.
play, right?
And honestly, not selling out in an opening day is kind of crazy. Like,
Right?
if you're not selling out for your opening weeks, you've done something wrong, because
Mm,
most teams are an opening day sellout. Like,
yeah,
even the bad teams are pretty often opening day sellouts, just simply because, football's back, right?
yeah,
Everyone wants to be there. It's the same for baseball. Now, baseball puts a lot more hype around opening day. That's obvious, but I think for opening day on the NFL, it's less hyped up, right? There's not like
hmm,
that kind of specialty of it being opening day
yeah,
like baseball, but it's still very important to
yeah.
the season. And so I'm surprised it wouldn't be a opening day sellout, even if you didn't sell out the rest of the season. Usually that first week is a sellout.
My understanding from what I've read and seen, various places, there are many season ticket holders like myself who have decided not to renew their season tickets, and they're just not gaining that popularity that you just mentioned. And I think it has things to do with Stefanski going into the sixth season A lot of fans don't trust and believe in Kevin Stefanski. They don't like the organization. They don't like what they did with Deshaun Watson. And I think it's kind of their way to kind of
Yeah,
get
there's a
back.
lot of polarization with the fans.
Yeah,
They don't think. Now, I'm not saying every fan is like this, but they don't
sure.
think. They think so. What's the word when you think back on something?
Yeah,
Not past tense. I can't think of the word. Like
sure.
the something is 2020.
Yeah.
You're everything
Oh,
when you're
in
looking.
hindsight.
Yeah, hindsight. There you go. Thank you. And no one looks very well in hindsight. They're always like, "Oh, we paid Deshaun Watson so much money. This guy
Yeah,
sucks. Browns are a
yeah,
terrible organization. They made a bad decision." But they don't realize that yes, Deshaun Watson has problems when he was coming out of his whole thingy that happened to him. He was still one of the best quarterbacks in the league going off of one of the seasons before. It was a deal the
it's
Browns had to
true.
take because if it paid off, we would have had a franchise quarterback who was looking to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Hmm.
And you have to pay that kind of money. You have to take that risk when you're given that opportunity, right?
Well, yeah,
And so fans don't look at that and they play into their own head and they're like, see, this team is stupid. Why would I ever go support them? And I see that vision, but it's just I feel like some people are too polarized on what happens with the team. And like if I was a Browns fan, I probably okay. If I was a Browns season holder, I'm a Browns
yeah.
fan. But if I was a season ticket holder, I don't think I would renew it this year. I think I'd save the money and because I don't want to go to watch my team lose 12
So
times.
that's the argument, and that's what you're saying exactly. That's what is happening currently. That people are seeing this, they're feeling it. Nick Chubb, a fan favorite, given away. Not given away, but he went down to Houston now. Is he going to be the
Yeah,
starter on
that's a
Sunday?
big thing. Yeah, John, you said we're losing players that we loved, and that's also important. Is some people come solely to see their favorite player, right? Like some people go
Yeah,
watch the Cowboys simply to see CeeDee Lamb play. Some people
yeah,
came to watch Micah play, right?
sure.
You go to these games. You might go to a Broncos game to see Patrick Surtain play. You might go to a Chiefs game just to watch Mahomes play. And so if you lose those players, you also lose a lot of fans as well. And you also give this kind of betrayal to fans too. They're like, "See, you got rid of my favorite player. I don't like you," and so that's a big aspect too. So, I
Yeah,
think as the Browns go for the next 5 to 10 years, though, I think people will start to come around if this team can pick themselves back up.
I hope so. I hope so. I know it's going to be. I think the other part of this too is just the recent thing that happened over the summer with this competition amongst the rookie quarterbacks. There was a big divide between Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders fans. And now it came out that, Dylan Gabriel is going to be the backup. So that just adds to some of these people's beliefs again, also what we're talking about. And it is going to be something. So, all right, Sam, your final predictions then. What do you think is going to happen then on Sunday? What do you,
I think the Browns are going to lose.
uh
I
huh.
don't want to be negative, but I feel like this is an uphill battle from the
Yeah.
start, simply off of what I've seen. But I think score. I know Steve would probably be shaking his head right now. Oh, no score prediction. I like it. It's fun.
Sure. Sure.
Sure, it's not realistic, but
Uh huh.
I'd say probably 28-17 would be around where I'd put it.
Okay.
I'd say about a 14 to 10 point lead for the Bengals
Uh
would
huh.
probably be realistic for the score. But no, I think it's going to be an uphill battle from the start. I think it's going to be tough. I'm not counting the Browns out. I
Yeah.
think they could win, but I don't
Yeah.
think it'll be an easy. I don't think it'll be an easy game by any means.
Okay. I'm going to go Browns win 24-23. One pointer. Somehow, some way. They're going to pull it off. Maybe the rookie kicker will kick something late to take the win. Maybe the Bengals go for a 2 point conversion and they don't make it and they're stuck on 23 and the Browns come back super late and win it on a field goal. There you go. It'll be fun though.
That would be fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun. I there's a lot going into this season. Obviously, this team has to be better than they were a year ago. I have said, and I don't care what the owners are saying. The fan base will not allow. And I know some people say, "Well, screw the fans." we do count. And despite some people's opinion that they don't, we do. And if this team gets off to a 1-4 start, 1-6 start like they did a year ago, goodbye, sayonara, uh, to Kevin, and probably Andrew Barry. I just don't see these two guys.
Yeah, I think I said it before in the off season. If this is, you don't fire a coach the year after they win coach of the year. You just don't, right?
Yeah.
That's same for like a Heisman Trophy winner in college football. You just don't get rid of that kind of guy, right?
Hmm.
You do the same for coach of the year, offense player of the year. You don't get rid of the guy next year, but the year after
Hmm.
that, it's free game.
Hmm.
Because and especially if they didn't do very well like last season. But no, if they
Hmm.
start off 1-5, 1-6, he's and we get to the trade deadline, I wouldn't be surprised if they fire him because you want to see success. I mean,
Hmm.
the Cowboys just did it. They hadn't seen success with Mike McCarthy, and so
Hmm.
they fired him and brought in someone new. You want your goal, ultimate goal, regardless of what the owners tell you and the players tell you, the goal is to win the Super Bowl. Regardless
Hmm.
of where you are,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
always have that goal as to win the Super Bowl, and you will do, most people will do anything to get there. And so yes, I think if it's 1-6, 1-5, and you're hitting week 8, week 9, and you've won 2 games, he's likely gone. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that they have to get rid of him during the season. I know some people will say, "Well, they're going to give him the season," and I know the track record of our owner Jimmy Haslam is varied. We held on to Hugh Jackson well past the time that we should have when we were 0-16 and 1-15 or whatever we were in that terrible span back in 2016, 2017. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun to get down there to the stadium. People will be energized. I'm anxious to see that energy and to see kind of see how it feels compared to other opening days. It's always fun because it is an opening day, and I hope the fans do come out. And if those seats that haven't been sold do get sold out, or it's close to a sellout, because it's kind of embarrassing when you're turning on the TV and watching the Brown Stadium. You can see those empty seats pretty clearly in that orange with those orange seats. So
Yeah, it's like the Lions who have those bright blue seats. Like you're not missing those. Like hey, you're like, oh hey, that entire section's empty. Yeah, it's gonna be.
right,
I do hope they sell out though, or at least get enough people in there. It's not easy to notice the lack of people.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, Sam, final thoughts before we let everybody go. I think I didn't know. Are you, so you're going to be around Sunday? Sam might partake in a post game or pre game. I think we're going to do both, Sam.
Yeah, I'll probably be able to do post game. I'll just
Hmm.
be at church for pre-game. So
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
probably will be able to do a post game if I'm available. But yeah, I think I don't have much.
I may even have you lead the charge with that if I'm traveling back. So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
may.
I might be able to do something like that. But it's I mean, I don't know. There's not much to say right now other than I'm excited. I hope the Browns win. I think it's going to be a hard fought battle, but don't be disappointed if they lose, I guess would be my takeaway. I think this is a battle from the start. You're pointing up, you're shooting up. So, yes, I think don't be terribly disappointed if the Browns can't win this game. It's going to be a hard fought battle.
I like that. I think if we can go into the game with that perspective, the the tragedy of a loss isn't going to be so hard on Monday. But I do think the Browns are going to win this game. I just have a good feeling inside that they're going to do some good things. That Joe Flacco is going to relight some magic that we haven't seen around here for a little bit. And while we will miss players like Nick Chubb greatly, I will. That'll be sad to watch that. And I hope to God that Jerome Ford shows out and plays some tough football, and takes the rock and tries to do some good things for the team and hold on to the damn ball. The Browns cannot afford to turn over the ball going into this game.
Yeah, I've also kind of betrayed the team a little bit. I drafted a Chase Brown in my fantasy league, so I almost want him to do good so I win fantasy. So go Browns.
Go
But if we want to
Browns.
lose, I wouldn't mind if he wins like 4 touchdowns.
Everybody, thanks again for watching the Fanatical Elves Network. Listen to us later on Apple, on Spotify, or anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. We appreciate you coming over to us, listening to us, following us. We will have a giveaway later this evening, so pay attention to that on our X page, where we'll announce what that giveaway is, and we'll announce the winner on our post-game show after the Browns beat the Cincinnati Bengals Sunday afternoon. Until then, everybody, take care. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
See Sam.